Hello, everyone. So, my name is Neil, and today we'll be speaking about our podcast with Marina. And the topic that we kind of intuited, felt right for us today was our relationship with exercise. So, me being like a 20-year-old, and Marina being much older and having been in the fitness industry, we both have we've had our kind of experiences, and we kind of felt like from a heart level today just to explore what it means for us and then, inspire you to find out what does that mean for you. How can this awareness or just this spirit, just this information really, how can it kind of stir in you and, as you see after listening to something and being present with the information, what you find is that there is a new awareness from that, and then how would your life change as a result? So before we start, I just want to invite you in this space and just to take the moment now as in right now, and just connect. For me, I always start with the heart space, so that's like my own meditation practice. I always start there. So connect to the heart space and set the intention that we connect to that the highest self or God or universe, whatever you want to call it, and to allow that consciousness of God to permeate every cell and quanta, so the smallest particle, and to allow that golden frequency of God to permeate every quanta of your body and your field, and to allow yourself and to prepare yourself just to be open to whatever you are meant to receive right now. So I'm grateful that you did that. And so I feel like I want Marina to speak soon. So I want to ask her a question. So, what was Marina's initial relationship to exercise? Yeah, just start somewhere.
Hi, Neil. Hello to everybody. Thank you so much, Neil, always for beautiful heart connection and for all of us to open our hearts and to be here and now, so we can connect on a dead heart level here in this space. So thank you so much. And like Neil says on the beginning, both of us on the some level, we are resonating with this subject because both of us, we had our experience, no matter on our age. And my relationship with exercise today, Neil, from this perspective, after, kind of, inner work that I did on myself, my personal evolution, my personal growth, right? My personal journey through life is different today than was before 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, completely. And on which level is different is that before 15 years, because I was in fitness industry almost 20 years. And I always been in the sports from when I was 3 years old. My mom and dad first time brought me to ballet, so I started there, and then I progressed to primary school to gymnastic and so on. So somehow for me it was natural also to tap into the waters of the sport and fitness. So I always been connected to that, and I always love moving my body. Right? For me, always movement was important, even when I studied drama university. So my body was instrument, right? So through the time, when I really tap into fitness industry and I opened my club back home in Belgrade, and I running ladies only fitness club, and I started working with the ladies, I didn't saw that at that time, obviously. But when I came here in Dubai, I realized when my personal awakening journey started, because, when you move other country, this is a deep activation, right? When you change your environment, when you come in another environment. So I was very, very, very activated here, emotionally, spiritually, on so many different levels. So my awakening journey, practically, deeper work started here on this land. So I could recognize through that journey and awakening what was my relationship with exercise before, and was very destructive. I can say, even though at that time that I was believing that I deeply love what I do, yeah, absolutely, I did. But the way that I was approaching fitness for myself personally, not for other people, for myself personally, was exhaustion. I remember staying and training for 2-3 hours in my studio before my clients, after my clients. I was eating very little, counting every single calorie that's coming in my body. Yeah, and if I see something that have a little bit fat or a little bit sugar, I won't eat. So even though obviously that I know how much healthy fats are important for the female hormones, right? So even though that I knew all of that, I did opposite. I was training till exhaustion. I almost brought myself to anorexia. Till anorexia. So I was feeling that this is the way for me to feel complete, to feel happy, to feel more fulfilled. You know, if I'm skinnier, then I'm taller. And all this kind of things that, you know, they were surface somewhere. So I wasn't aware of them, of my emotional turmoil, of something that, you know, was there, but obviously wasn't seen consciously for me. And I was thinking I'm doing everything right. Even when I came here, right? When I'm going to the gym, I was competing with other men who is carrying more kilos. So I was in very, very, very masculine energy in the gym. So I found by witnessing also my clients, and when people, you know, come first time in the gym, or they're making decision, right, to start moving or to do something with their bodies, very, very rarely, I can be very honest here, with all my respect, with all my love and gratitude for every human that I was in touch, really. And I had this opportunity to support them, and they to support me also, because we learning on the both ways, right, from each other. I could witness over and over again, no matter what people doing with their bodies, it's always the same level of staying of anxiety, emotional turmoil. People were using gym or exercise to escape their work, to escape life, to escape family, to escape maybe kids, and so on and so on. So for me, at that time, when I started deeply to question myself, I started to recognize also myself in them. And this level of approaching the body and being in the fitness industry and supporting people that way, it didn't resonate with me. So my approach today is completely different. So my connection to my body and with the exercise have a different energetic level. I can say that. So yeah, this is very, very shortly. We can go deeper into that, but I would love actually. I just wanted to put here one word, that this conversation from my side, it's not, I don't want people to think it's against fitness, it's against exercise. We know very well how much is important for all of us to move, right? But the question is, with which energies and from which intentions and feelings about ourselves and about our life we are making choices, right, to improve something. So for me, I knew that those things were some kind of reflection of how I was feeling about myself and about my life, and who am I? You know, I was really, really lost at some point of my life, not knowing really who fully I am. So this is how I was making my decisions, following external standards, right? Telling me how I need to look, what I need to do, and so on and so on. So yeah, I made my choices, and now I do things from much, connected, heart-centered space and more abundant space. a more abundant energetic space. So I feel what I want to do today, you know, so and how I want to move. So yeah, tell me how is about you, and will be beautiful you to, like we says, we are sharing kind of experience, but I would like now you to say from your perspective how this connection was a relation with you.
Yeah, I feel like with Marina as well, it's just been for me as well, where I have fatigue now, so I have a lot of tiredness. So that's kind of really you kind of need something. So for Marina, her activation, whatever, activation was she went to Dubai and she had a different environment that kind of stimulated new thought and new awareness. So for me, now the only reason I stopped exercising was because I couldn't exercise. So I got too tired. But yeah, so it's kind of been like an evolution, and it's really, if you look at the old paradigm, old kind of ways of believing, or like what I've been conditioned. So for me, my dad, he likes to gym a lot. So from like a very young age, 10, 11, 12 years old, he would take me there and I'll kind of explore what it is. Like I didn't know what it was, just seeing, okay, what is it? And then, like for me in school, a lot of it was, like competition, because, boys, they want to be like, who wants to be the best? So I like sports, so tennis, table tennis, cricket as well. I was playing at school, and running. I did a lot of running. So yeah, I did all these sports, and they're quite fun. And competition. So like obviously we spoke about the education system in the other one, but we're always trying to compete, and we're always trying to see who gets the best. And it's always about, like, for me as well, as like, yeah, I just wanted to win. So um that was like, I had like a very, yes, a masculine energy kind of. And what happened was that after, like, so I would say a lot of it's to do with school as well, because you're always competing against your peers. So like for me, like, was in the, so within like the kind of, we had, physical education, what they call, um and I wanted to like run and just be at front of everyone else. So then I saw someone else that was faster than me. Then I thought, I'm not doing enough. So really, all I wanted to do was just, like, feel worthy. I wanted to win, but what is it? Because I wanted to see that I'm good enough. So then I didn't feel enough. So as in, when I wrote this like a blog yesterday, but I didn't feel enough. So I felt like, okay, I need to do more running and more training just to feel enough. So I kind of did a lot of running, and I just kept on doing it. And when I got stuck in my own cycle, because you get stuck in like a bubble, or like a kind of way of thinking. So I did running, and then I went to the gym, and then doing whatever exercise there. And then basically I just got addicted, and all I was doing was adding more and more layers and reducing my sleep time. um, and so there was a lot of, for me emotionally, if you look at it, there's a lot of it was trying to feel worthy, trying to feel like, for me, like, exercise was like achievement. So if I was to, it's like, especially when you do sports as well, it's like, and also like a lot of the boys, like, or like my friends, they're always speaking at the time, it's like, who can lift what in the gym. So like they have a number, and they say, can you compete to that number? And it's like, yeah, it's just, it's a lot of, but really what for me, so that was like a very mechanical energy, very robotic energy. It's not like intuitive. It's not like, okay, what do I want to do? Where does my spirit want to go? No, it's not that. It's like, what do I want to do to feel worthy? Or like, a lot of the time also I use exercise to kind of expend self-hatred. So a lot of the times I would run on the energy of self-hatred to torture myself. So what I'll do is kind of like, after an exam, so also because to do with education, so I'll do like, if I didn't do well in an exam, or I got a score that was wrong, I felt like this is terrible. So I just run on that hatred. Also, I read a book by this guy called David Goggins, but he kind of talks about how you can run on negative energies. I completely disagree with what he's saying, but basically, yeah, the idea is that you're meant to you kind of use that negative energy, and it's good to expend it. I think it's good to expend it, but then for me, it's like I'm continually generating the energy. That you can generate it and you can expend it. But then the thing is, like, you need to find out, where is it generating from. That's always to do with your subconscious, or like your body. And what's happening with me was I was always generating it, maybe because the education system for me always created more self-hatred in itself. I'm always generating.
Sorry, I will just interrupt you here. I apologize, because it's very nice, very beautiful what you are saying and expressing. So when you connect that with a school, and when you says when I have, let's say, lower grade or you didn't perform in the school well, right? You says then you're going in the gym and then you're running till you don't pass, right? So it's almost like kind of energy of the punishment.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's it. It's the energy of, yeah, it is literally, I still have that pattern. Like I was even yesterday in the night, literally before I went to bed, I sat down and I was trying to feel that energy. I can feel it so strongly, but it's not gonna, it just doesn't, it's such an imprinted energy for me. It doesn't come out straight away. It takes a very, and I feel like my illness can be connected to that. But basically, so I had this old paradigm, this is how I've been, the formation of me, whether it's my dad who liked gym, or like it was the schooling environment. And so that's kind of where I was. So that's like, that's the kind of setup. And then what happens is like I keep on running and like I have shin splints, I have all these different problems, but I just keep on running because and I kind of like make a tally as well. So I make a tally, it's like that's why for me now, I used to have all the smartwatches and I was always like monitoring, but now actually I don't really like it because I don't feel it's always anxiety that's driving it because you're always fixation, the energy of fixation, the energy of it's a very kind of conversion focus, right? It's not about the number at the end of the day. So that's the old set of how I felt. And then what happened was I was running so many, a lot, but then I became fatigued. And so a lot of it's to do with my illness. And then I noticed like these symptoms, like I couldn't explain it. Like, why do I feel this way? What's happening to my body? Why is my body giving me the symptom? I cannot explain it. Initially, I thought it was exercise, but then these more things came up. And then for me, the biggest one that kind of activated me or challenged me was fatigue. So then I was like, okay, so I was exercising, and then even like initially when I had the fatigue, like it wasn't as bad. I would go to the gym, and then I started jujitsu for some reason because I wanted to try something different. And then it's like I'm doing too many things, and the fatigue wasn't that bad. And then I come back at home, and then literally I'll be in my room, and I'll just collapse unconscious on the floor because I'd zone out because I'm just punishing myself. And then over time, it kind of the fatigue became worse. And then
At that moment, sorry, Neil,
yeah.
then instead of exercise and being physically active to benefit you and to benefit your progress and I mean your body, like your whole vitality, right, and your energy, you're collapsing.
Yes.
So that's why I will just add on a little bit because it reminds me really on the moment also when I collapsed so many times in my studio. From eating very little, like I said, and this is always reflection really of what is going on with me, but consciously I didn't know that at that time, right? So, or overworking out. So I passed so many times. I got tachycardia. I was on medications for the heart at that time because my pulse knew to be very, very, very high. I knew to collapse completely, to get white and cold, like my body almost got frozen. So I remember when I did some checkup, doctor told me, you are just exhausted. Your body is exhausted. And this is the kind, like we talk about punishment. I also felt now when we're talking, the essence of that energy, right? That something that I didn't express and didn't know how to process through my life was just through external structure, right? How things should be, what is the health, what we need to do, how we need to do things, what is the value, also how you need to look like, right? To be also accepted and valued. For me was also reflecting that hard work, how me as a woman, what means being successful, running my business, being successful, having so many clients, right? Showing to others that I have that success, right? So yeah, it was kind of also punishment, right? Which is not healthy and not productive and cannot last for so long because we cannot sustain like that for so long. So
yeah, I feel like for me it's like it is the energy of self-hatred. And for me, like when you talk about when I was seeing like one of this doctor, it wasn't like a functional alternative medicine doctor, and he did a test on my mitochondria, so what you could see. And initially, and I feel like a lot, may perhaps could have been related to, but a lot of the exercise can actually, if you're on a kind of cellular, even subcellular level, the if you're exercising too much and you're not letting your, even like on a scientific level, physiological level, if you're not letting your body recover, repair, and the mitochondria are constantly going into anaerobic respiration, and they're not, there's the whole cycle, and if it's not kind of filling, because it's obviously depleting its resources, and you're not allowing the resources to build up, then you are going to just destroy your mitochondria.
Absolutely agree. Same with the woman.
Yeah.
Hormones can be in disbalance also.
So it's like with this sort of, even you could say some of my, call it karma or kind of, but now what I'm learning is like, yeah, so it's like, it's kind of forced me. So you have like some sort of, because the thing is, if you don't have anything to break you out of that cycle, you're not going to break out. So, we have a very self-sabotaging cycle. Like even I don't know if Marina had this as well, like you're ill, you have like a cold, and then guess what? I want to start running. Like I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
Or
yes.
the other one,
Don't ask
is
Neil.
like the other one is like for me, it's like it was snowy and icy on the road, but I just wanted to do like 50, like 15 kilometers just on it because it's just like it makes absolutely no sense. But it sounds completely stupid, and my mum was telling me don't do it, but I did it anyway. But it kind of that was back then. I can't do it now, but so that's the old. So I become fatigued, and for me that kind of, I have this sort of, so I have this severe resistance, so I'm lying down and I feel a lot of the, so okay, think about it. So a lot of the stuff of, so we have exercise like physical activity, so the external, what we're doing is a lot of physical activity, but for me a lot of this physical activity is coming from that energy of restlessness. So I feel very restless, so I want to do exercise, so it's kind of like a distraction or like a coping mechanism. So, like I do not. So why do I feel restless? Because the thing is, you have that physical, that cycle, but then you want to, like, for me, it's like, okay, I go in, I inquire. So what I had to do it anyway, because I'm tired. I cannot actually, that old cycle was breaking. I cannot even live on that old cycle. I'll probably keep on collapsing. So then the question is for me, it's like, it pushes me into a new way of thinking. Like, so I have to, instead of, okay, doing all this physical stuff, actually what it's saying is, no, now I need to go inwards. My body's collapsing. I feel completely fatigued. I feel completely drained. Instead of putting my attention and energy outwards, actually now I need to go inwards in order to change the outwards. So that's kind of, for me, it's like, okay, so why? So then I kind of ask myself, okay, why am I doing? Yeah, what is the need for all this endless physical activity? Where am I trying to get to? Because we're always trying to think, okay, well, I'm getting to somewhere. So like Marina's saying, to be accepted, valid, how do you look? How do you, like all these sort of things. So that's what you were trying to get to. So you're trying to chase this state of, worthiness and validity. That's one energy.
Yeah,
That wasn't all of my energy. But yes,
absolutely. Yeah.
yeah,
Sorry, Neil, that the others can say, oh, he's doing great.
you're doing
She's
great.
doing
Yeah.
great, right? So, and it's not about, okay, what I feel about it, what truly I need, what my body also asking me, and why I want also to do certain things to bring my body on the certain level, right? So always is about, intention and energy. So yeah, please.
So I think so as Marina was saying earlier, a lot of your actions are extensions of your energy. Well, all your actions are. So a lot of these, so a lot of these, so most people's energy, and I think Marina was saying also from her sort of personal training background, a lot of, so even like, so I say this is, so I don't actually like going to the gym anymore, but because I mean I don't want to. I don't really like I can feel the energy of a gym too much. So, but basically, what I know I feel very strongly is a lot of if I look at my dad or anyone, for example, in the gym, a lot of it's a very robotic kind of. It's a very robotic energy, and everyone's on their phones like a like a zombie kind of. They're on their phones. They got their AirPods on. They're looking in the mirror. They're looking at their gains, their muscles, and they're just going around in a circuit. So a lot of the people, I mean, they just do the same thing, or they have like similar workouts. They have workout plans, and they kind of go through it. Obviously, yeah. So for me, a lot of it is like it's a very robotic energy. So I feel like, as Marina was saying earlier, a lot of people they do this to escape from. So sometimes it's like I don't know what. So some energy, for like for like say my dad, for example, but for like some person, like it could be like I don't know what to do with my time. So I do not. Some people think because they don't know what to do, they'll just do exercise just to fill in that void. Some people is like I hate myself, or I hate myself, so I want to exercise to expend that energy of hatred. Some people is like, I feel unworthy, so I need to exercise to look a certain way to feel worthy through external validation. So you have all these mechanisms working, and you see these people in the gym, like you can kind of feel into what energy is driving them as well. Um, but for me, it's like that was the last time I went into the gym, and like I couldn't. It's just for me, it's kind of disheartening when you see like what is driving them. And then,
Yes.
so yeah,
It's so
because
linear.
yeah,
Mhm.
for me, it's like,
Please, please finish.
yes, Marina can speak.
No, 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 no. Please finish.
Yeah, it's very, I think Marina saw this a lot herself, like from her awareness now. It's very disheartening to see, like, because if you look at the gym, I would, I can, I mean, at the same time, I don't want to come across arrogant, but I would say like 97% of people are doing it as a coping mechanism from some sort of negative energy. And yeah, so I feel that strongly in the gym. I feel like when I go in the gym, I can close my eyes, I tune into the energy of the room. What do I feel? I feel like a lot of it's disconnection because a lot of the energy in the gym is actually people think, oh, you know what, I'm working my bicep. But a lot of it is actually that even though they're working with their body, they're still working from that space of disconnection. So I feel disconnection, I feel loneliness because they're all these machines. People are just on their phones and they're just like fixated. Sometimes they're constantly scrolling on social media and then they just do whatever and then they go back on social media again. So loneliness, disconnection, depression, I feel strongly, self-hatred also. But
Neel, I will just, this
yeah.
is so beautiful what you said because I resonate with that. And when you said disconnection, and this is exactly what was with me. I was thinking with my mind, right? That I was actually very connected to my body because I
Yeah.
trained so hard, because I was
Yeah.
trying to compete with others in the gym and with myself, which is good if I compete with myself. But you know, when you start competing with other men in the gym, not even with women, with other men in the gym. So that's different. So yeah, this complete disconnection. And obviously, from this perspective today, when I study, when I had my journey, when I learned about the body in a different way, about our emotional body, right? Then I understood and I could witness and saw how much actually I was disconnected from the real essence, what my body is. So disconnection from emotions, disconnection from self, disconnection from the body, and only connection with external standards.
Yeah.
Only connection with external standards. And again, so many fitness guru telling you every single day also how you need to do things, what you need to eat, what nobody knows what is actually good for me, right? Because you, myself, and any other human being who will listen to this is completely unique person.
I feel like a lot of these people that are obsessed with like their energy is also like, a sheep. They're always following some sort of some image. They're always chasing this image, but always, we can say lack. They're always in this kind of energy of lack or hunger.
100%.
They never actually feel whole. So like, if you were to scan them, I don't think they wouldn't have much. It's not a heart-based, because once you have a heart-based, like, consciousness, everything changes. So like for me now, it's not like, I have fatigue too. So, that's a very, I call the fatigue more like an emotion. I don't, like it's kind of like an emotion. So it's like, okay, what does my body want now? You can do it with food as well. It's like, okay, what does my body want now? And like so yesterday I asked my body, okay, what did I want to do yesterday? And I used some ultrasound thing. But it's like, okay, what do I want to do now? And it's like beforehand, okay, I'll give you an example. It's like I would weigh myself for some reason I was in such a robotic mentality. I'd weigh myself on the smart scale, and for some reason I was obsessed with body fat percentage. I would weigh it on a smart scale.
Same here, Neel. Same here. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll weigh it on a smart scale, and I'll see on my phone it connects, and you can see, okay, graph is whatever. I mean, it's just a number, and like I would say, okay, this number is good, this number is bad. I don't, it just makes absolutely no sense. I still got a scale in my room, but it's like instead of, okay, you can do that. That's a very mechanical way of thinking. You can, it's like you're in an autopilot. You're in autopilot. But for me now, it's like, okay, I sit down. Sometimes what I do before I even exercise, I sit down, I go into the heart, and then I write down, okay, I ask my body, how does it feel? A lot of the time with me, I get, physical tension. So I do a lot of, more stretching and things, but like, how does it feel? What do I want to work on? How would that make me feel? So, but it's always like, for me, it's like I start from the feeling. I don't start from, oh, I've got this number on the bench press and I need to go up to that number to feel a certain way and I'm competing with my friends and whatever. Now it's like, okay, how do I feel? Sometimes I feel like it's like very intuitive. So like, I know what I've got resort, like I have different equipment at home and it's like, okay, like if I have fatigue, so I have to pace it. Like, do I want to just play badminton outside for a bit? Like, something fun because exercise also can be fun. I feel like
Exactly.
that's a different, I mean,
Should be.
I feel like, yeah. So I want to talk about that too. But yes, like so first of all, like how do I feel like and yeah, it's like, but instead of you're asking your body, and what happens is once you get more intuitive and like connected, the body will just tell you straight away. Why? Because the body's your best friend. It wants to work with you. But the thing is with people in the gym, for me, it's like they're a lash. They're kind of lashing like a horse, right? The body's like a horse. Your mind is like you're lashing at the horse, and the horse is like the body, and they're like torturing. It's like hammer, 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 more, be productive, achieve.
Yeah, this is very interesting. And when you were talking about the numbers and measuring your fats and
Measuring.
everything, absolutely, this is what I did. And I remember Neil spending hours in my bathroom. Obviously, I was younger at the time, but spending hours in my bathroom just judging my body. And if I can just take my skin a little bit around my waist like this, I was like, oh my God, no, should be all flat, should be all strong. I should not, have this possibility to stretch my skin or to have a little bit fat around. So I knew spending hours of just judging myself,
Measuring.
looking what is not good on me, and being obsessed with that physical appearance, right? And that comes from somewhere, right? And I'm sure that a lot of teenagers, girls, even women today, because I work with so many women, when they come in the gym, so many times I remember I had a client who says, I just hate my body. Right. So starting doing for yourself of making some change, it's not quite
Yeah.
right energy, right? From
I
where we
feel,
want to create something
I
better.
feel like even so, say if someone, I mean, someone comes to you and say, I hate my body. I don't feel the approach would be, okay, let's exercise so your body looks better, so you feel better. I feel the
Yes,
approach is, no, first of
exactly.
all, go inside of you. And
Exactly.
why do you hate your body? And you need to, first of all, you resolve the energy.
Absolutely. And this is Neil, when we were talking about it, I was listening very, very carefully, everything that you shared. On the end, like I says, from this perspective, with this consciousness awareness I have at this time and this moment, right now, right? Who knows what will be tomorrow or the day after or 5 years, but right now is really, really when I realize when you are really fulfilled within yourself, when you really understand yourself, it's completely different way of approaching health, of approaching your body, making choices to go, is it the gym or any kind other, physical movement or exercise you want to integrate in your life. Doesn't need to be gym, can be anything else, right? But it's a completely different place of choice.
I feel also, so I think, so the gym is like a very, like we talk about love. So love, it becomes very conditional because you're always wanting to kind of get somewhere to feel a certain way. So it's lack, it always comes from lack. But like, I feel like once you kind of, do the kind of inner work or like you kind of see these things and then you go back to it, you can get from a more like a consciousness of unconditional love. So it's like, instead of like, it's like, yeah, it's like, it can be more fun. So, like beforehand, even like the same thing beforehand, like, it's like I wanted to win in, I don't know, tennis. Obviously, I don't have too much physical energy, but like, still, if I was to play 15, 20 minutes of tennis, you can make it more fun. It's more about for me, it's now it's like more about the experience. It's not about like getting to an end goal. It's more about like how do I feel, and yeah, how does it feel for me? How does it feel for my spirit? It's like I feel like it's a very different place, and like it would be really like I do appreciate that I can have that, but I also know that there's a lot of people that don't see it that way. Yeah.
No, yeah, that's absolutely true. And also, so many times I just go because my husband is a senior physiotherapist, also ex-athlete, and that's why also, I mean, I love more, always love more athletic and real sport than just gym. So many times when we are going in the gym together, I knew to stand on the side and to tell him why everybody is so mad, why everybody's so mad in the gym, right? Like there is no fun, everybody's so serious, everybody's so looking
Yeah.
mad, lifting, dropping, and walking around mad. I say why? And exactly the atmosphere that you shared also didn't resonate with me, uh being and serving in that
Because
atmosphere.
I feel for me
And
as well, I did make a decision. I mean, this is my own decision. It's not just like for me, like, the last time I went to the gym, it's like I made the decision. For me, the atmosphere does not feel good to me. So I don't want to spend energy there because also like when you study the science and stuff, like your environment does affect you. So you could say like, you can go to the gym and you can do your exercise, but then you do have the environment signaling your genes, the DNA. Our DNAs are like they're always they're always like sending signals to each other, and obviously our energy is always in training with each other. So it's like either way, when you're in that sort of environment, you are for me anyway. What I feel is like I am kind of placed in a kind of a sea of like, if you close your eyes, what are you really? You're just Wi-Fi. Everything's like Wi-Fi, right? Or like you can
yeah.
say simulation or Wi-Fi. So say
And this is
you're
Neil, sorry to interrupt, this is Neil, when you're talking about Wi-Fi, it's why also like yourself, I didn't, environment without really, really any judgment. I mean, I love gym. I will always, train. I will always move my body. There is no question, right, about it. But at least I will choose to go when is the less people, probably. So I think so. Also, when we talk about the Wi-Fi being a Wi-Fi, right? When you close your eyes, even when you open your eyes, we are
essentially beacons of
really
we're just Wi-Fi,
receivers, right?
receivers and transmitters.
So, but I feel that also people who are more connected to energy, I can talk just about myself, that I could, pick up so much that kind of energy in the gym. So like you said, after, instead of you feeling great, I knew to feel energetically tired,
Because also with
exhausted,
me, I mean,
and I need recovery.
this is different as well. But like with me, with a fatigue kind of energy, I do absorb a lot of like environmental energy, and I kind of constantly have to clean it from myself, and then also clean other people's energy too. But it's yeah, but yeah, I do feel like with when we talk about like holistic health, or like when you look at everything, you look into the energetic perspective as well. But for me, I mean, I know a lot of my a lot of my views sound very extreme, but like yeah, one thing for me is like at the moment I don't I really used to like the atmosphere of a gym, and now I don't like it at all. But I mean I will still use I'd rather get the equipment and do it in my house, but like what I want, what resonates with me. Maybe I don't need the bench press. Maybe I can just do press ups. But like you can figure it out yourself, and like because I think some people, even I give you an example, or like my dad, for example, but he goes to the gym, but he does a lot of the things that he does there is stuff that you could do at home. But it's like you don't. It's like what for me. It's like, hey, what do I actually want? Do I need to go to the gym? Like, what do I want? How would my body feel? And like a lot of the things for me, it's like my body feels better doing it in an environment that feels better for me. But yeah,
Yes,
that's
that's beautiful. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And having that consciousness and awareness also is a gift, and it's part of your authentic expression. Yeah, if I make
the
you
gym is like for me a lot of it is very yeah, when you see about whole, like, I feel like a lot of it is like, oh, we're just a machine. It's like where in the gym, I'm just a machine. You know what? If I put 5 reps or what three sets, 5 reps at 30 kilogram, I'll get more whatever of my machine. I'll grow it a bit in a certain way. But it's like, oh yeah, we're just a machine. It's like it's not whole in terms of what Marina's saying, holistic or whole. It's like, yeah, I'm a physical body. Yeah, okay. No, it's okay. I mean, it's complete identification of the body. There's nothing wrong in, like saying
No,
you have a body,
absolutely.
but then it's like, yeah, I'm just a body. You cannot. It's just completely third dimensional. It's like, oh, I have a body, and guess what? I've got a mirror. It's like, okay, and I've got. Guess what else I've got? I've got my. I can put stats on my phone. Like everything's very. Yeah, okay, that's right. That's yeah.
Yeah.
It's true. It's real.
So
It's real as well. It's third dimensional. But what I'm
yes.
saying, there's more to it as well.
Absolutely, it definitely is more into it, and it's absolutely different feeling. It's a different feeling.
Yeah.
It's different feeling now. Even if you choose to go now in the gym, you go for
Yeah, it
yourself,
will
right?
be.
You
Yeah,
don't
it
even
will.
to look around, right? But when you choose now to go from that perspective and from that feeling, internal feeling of yourself, right, and what is your needs, your unique needs, so it's completely your workout, your movement, everything will look different, right? Will look and feel different for you because it's coming from the different energy. And maybe some of you who will be listening this podcast, no matter if you agree, don't agree, because we are not recording this, there is no right or wrong, right? And there is no judgment around all concepts, right, that existing in our universe. It's only about what is the right for you. What is the right for you and what is resonate with your heart, really. And what I learned, Neil, is about really listening, acknowledging not just what my body needs, but also where I am emotionally, what is
I
going
feel
on.
with this as well, like with it's a lot of when you're you see like when you go to the gym and like you see people really obsessed about all their supplements and their protein shakes and before pre-shakes, post-shakes. A lot of it is like very you can say autopilot or like unconscious. It's just like what I've got a supplement. I
I need to
decide
take it.
yeah, I need to take it. And what happens is what I see happening a lot of the time, if they just constantly build on their routine, and suddenly instead of it just being the gym, it's like you have your pre and then your post and then your thermo whatever metabolic supplement and turmeric. Supplements I don't think are bad, but what I'm saying it just becomes more of a routine autopilot unconscious and it's just again it's just like it's like oh your body's a machine. It's like put X Y Z in, put the coding in, get the result. But it's just for me it's like it's just a very limited and there's no right or wrong, but it's still from my own perspective it's just a very limited view. And for me it's like degrading the value of what the body actually is. It's
Yes,
not.
and I think so. Absolutely, that's beautiful. I think so into uh, fitness perspective, or this connection with exercise or connection with our body, like you said, is a much more into that than just movement or.
And you do have like
Coaching.
you do have some exercises like you obviously. So we talked more about gym and stuff, but then you do have stuff like yoga that kind of
Yeah,
like some of the ones like yeah different yoga. It's about moving energy and then like breathe in, breathe breath work, and they combine it with the yoga. It's like yin yoga is more passive, but like, like there's a lot of different types of that bit. Recently, I've kind of felt like doing more of that stuff. But again, it's more like I think exercise in itself is not there's nothing wrong with it, but it's just like how do you approach it? I don't think even gym
absolutely,
there's nothing wrong with gym as well. I mean, there's nothing wrong in
absolutely.
exercise. It doesn't matter what
No,
it. I'm not going to
no.
tell you that. I'm not going to say yoga's better than gym. I cannot say that. Why? Because I think everything has a value, but it's like, what do you feel like doing at that moment in space time? And what happens is like it will constantly change, be in flux. But like that's
Exactly. This is the point. This is the point actually of this conversation. Just to open up a little bit heart and minds to maybe different perspective of when we're making choices to move, to train, to change something, right? Even if it's something externally, right? From which perspectives
for me.
which
It's always like even with
we are doing
exercise, it's
that.
like yeah, it's like for me, it's like I always want to follow spirit, or I want to be inspired by whatever I do. For me, it's not even about the exercise in itself, because really,
Exactly.
exercise is just it's just an action. It's like everything's always about the energy underneath it. It's always about like, okay, what do I feel inspired to do? And it just, and then it could be an exercise that I want to do, and then tomorrow it could be something else. I have no idea. I can't predict anything, but it's like, yeah, it's just interesting.
Absolutely. And not living, it's beautiful to have a routine, right?
Yeah.
But also myself, I like changing very, very often my routine, because I don't like to condition also my body to guide me and to repeatedly guiding my mind of doing the same things at all times. Because if we are all the time doing the same, again, there is no progress. So yeah, this is beautiful. Let's finish like this, Neel, that what is in alignment, in your alignment, in everyone's alignment, it feels really the best. So thank you so much for sharing all of this and having again a beautiful conversation with me and being open, and thank you so much for listening to me also in this podcast, and thank you so much to everybody who joining us and supporting this raw, genuine, and heart-centered conversations. So yeah, sending you so much love, and see you in the next podcast. Ciao.